Okay, welcome to Real Estate Traffic School. Ryan here. I just hit the record button. So we'll be posting this to both Reticulous and to the Real Estate Traffic School members area tomorrow. Today's topic is Craigslist, one of our favorite topics around here. We've gotten away from it a little bit the last few years because Facebook is so efficient, but Craigslist is a really, really good way still, of course, to generate traffic to your website. That's the topic at hand here for Real Estate Traffic School. I have a little outline here. I've dropped that to you guys in the chat area, the question box. And I just want to make sure that somebody can hear me. I don't have Mike today. So can somebody just say, hey, yes, I can hear you, something like that. Thank you, Jared. How you doing? Let's get to it. Jared, I think you're a lender, right? And a lot of this stuff will apply nicely to you, especially if you're not a lender, I apologize. But, now a lot of this stuff will apply for mortgage guys too. And, one point to bring up is that a lot of times your mortgage partner might be more in the office than you are, and maybe they might be willing to do some of this if you show them how. And then you guys can do your loans together. Yeah, he does loans. Okay, guys, bear with me. I'm on a Windows today, so I'm having a hard time seeing everybody's questions. I can never figure it out on Windows on GoToWebinar. I always get in here. Don't know why, but it's like a very small view of your questions. So I will get to your questions, but let's just tear into the content. Let's go. All right, so Craigslist real estate traffic generation techniques. Not going to really go into the very basics of how to post an ad. We're going to take more of a view that you guys probably know how to go to Craigslist, register an account and post an ad. We're more going to focus on ways that you can use Craigslist to generate traffic and leads for yourself. So why use Craigslist? Well, of course, there's still a ton of traffic. We all know it's one of the most traffic sites in America. Maybe Canada too, or somewhat in Canada. There's more intent. This is important to think about. There's more intent on Craigslist than there are on other sources like Facebook, where if you're popping an ad on Facebook, that person might not be actively looking to buy a house for a while. They definitely live in the area, and if they click, they're probably somewhat interested in whatever you're advertising, whether it be a house or property search or something. But on Craigslist, a lot of times it's people actually looking. They're at least browsing for property, thinking about a move in your area. Hey, it's free, right? That's the other thing here. We know this. In most markets, I think maybe New York you have to pay, maybe San Fran or something. I don't know. Maybe some big markets you do have to pay to post a listing. But for the most part, it's free. Your competitors, this is all zig when they zag. A lot of your competitors stopped using Craigslist heavily when the slap came about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when they stopped allowing hyperlinks and ads, and you couldn't do all the fancy lead gen stuff that we used to do 4 or 5 years ago. A lot of serious competitors stopped and switched over to Facebook and other sources, but there's still a ton of traffic and an opportunity to really, if you're consistent, get a lot of leads from Craigslist. Plus, your competitors, I have this note in here. I don't know why I put this in there, but it is true. A lot of your competitors are just afraid of Craigslist. They hear stuff in the news about scams, and they just think that they hear about one scam or bad things happening, and they think that means Craigslist is off limits. And you have an opportunity to benefit from that kind of thinking. Of course, bad stuff can happen anywhere, and bad stuff has happened on Craigslist. But if you use Craigslist, it does not mean you're a scammer or that you're going to get scammed. There is a good way to use it here. All right. So that's that. That's the sort of like the quick intro overview. Why you guys might want to use it. And then let's go into some posting strategies here and talk about some things that'll help your ad stand out and get more click-throughs. And I was just browsing through Craigslist, and I realized that in my doc, I've been using my wife and I always use Craigslist. We're always looking between St. Pete and PA. We're always moving around, always, got our eyes on things. And I just remembered that a lot of the times you're coming in here, and I don't remember if the default is now gallery when you come in, or if it's the list view right here. Either way, you're going to want to try to do something that makes your ad maybe stand out and catch the eye. So if you're on the gallery view, of course, you're going to want to think about what that first picture is. Make sure it's a really good picture. If you want to get, and I didn't do an example of this, if you want to have a little bit of fun, throw a picture of Mr. T in the first image. I know I'm getting crazy here, guys, but do something wacky with the image of the house. Put a dog on the yard with a little chat box saying, "Hey, how you doing? Come see this house." Think about this. Think about what everybody else is doing. Think as if you're a buyer coming here, and what would make you click. Now, this guy, right? This might get him flagged. And sometimes it might. I'm not sure Craigslist really wants you to run a big old image ad right front and center, but that's big and yellow. That catches my eye. It's different, right? The other way, of course, you can stand out is by using interesting headlines. Now, a lot of people here are just saying, "Hey, what school is it in?" Dover Colonial, suburban schools, renovated large home. This is all fine, but if you really want to have a little fun, you can do something like what I did in the video here. And I switched computers and I don't have this ad. I didn't get the confirmation from Craigslist to make it live, and I don't have this ad saved. So I'm going to show you it on the video, and I realize the screen might be small. But I tried to, in the video I sent a few hours ago, try to have a lot of fun with my subject lines, do stuff like WOMP, bigger than it looks, rancher in York Suburban, and then I put in parentheses with video, because video is going to be a pattern interrupt. If you happen to have a video, mention that there's a link inside to a video. So that's probably the biggest first thing you're going to want to do to make sure you get the most bang out of your buck, and you get people actually clicking through to your ad, even though they might not be looking in the price range or the number of bedrooms that you're at. You still want them to see your ads, and you'll see why in a minute. So pick a good subject line and do something wacky with the image. I'll have to do an example of that, but I think a lot of you see where I'm going. If you had like Spider-Man standing on the deck here, that would, you just take that, you drag it on top, you do it in Google Draw or something. That might catch somebody's eye and get you a few extra clicks. Okay, so that's that. 1 second here. We have some questions. I'm going to pop it out now. This will help. Yes, good question, May. May, you always have great questions. How do you do video without leaving Craigslist? I'll show you here in just a minute, but all you really need to do, you can put a picture of the video in the pictures, but you could just say, hey, to watch the video, click here, and you just put the YouTube URL without it being clickable. It says with video, but all you need to do is say, hey, there's a video inside, and as long as it's in the text of your ad, to watch the video, go here. So it used to be, and this is how I ran my business, like 2008. I was doing pictures of foreclosure videos, and it was awesome. I put a fake picture of the video, link it out, go out to YouTube or go out to my blog, and it worked great. But of course, Craig put the block on all that. All right, so pick the coolest feature in your headline. Try some alliteration. These are just some tips for writing your subject. Party time front porch. I don't know. Something that alliteration might be getting a little too geeky here, but have a little fun with the subject line. Make it ring and pop off the person's mind or their tongue as they say it to themselves. Exclamation points and words. Some people use ASCII characters, to draw little pictures. That might get you flagged here and there if you're doing it too much. But if you want to make ASCII art, am I saying that right? ASC, like this. Text to ASCII art generator. So I don't know how this would work in a subject line, but you would do something like awesome 3-bedroom. All right, and that's graffiti, but oops. Bad examples. How about this? No, that's not easy to read. One of these will be easy to read. Okay, kind of like this, and then you can copy all this and try to paste it in the subject line. I think that still works. It used to in your Craigslist subject line, and that might make it look a little bit different. Here we go. Okay, you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep the questions front and center. Sorry about that. So ASCII NLP phrasing. This is where you do suggested hypnotic language, like you might like this, you can click this. try this now. If you Google NLP, NLP copywriting phrases, you'll find a lot of interesting stuff there that you can use in your subject line. And then I just put here, if you happen to have a video, put with video in parentheses, because that will be a pattern interrupt, something different that they're not seeing in other subject lines, and it could get you more clicks to your ad. Right? So with video. And then I didn't put it in notes, but I really want to, for grid view, put a picture of Mr. T, Spider-Man, a peeing dog, or something on the lawn. Okay. I don't want this session to go really, really, really too long, but if we have time, maybe I'll show you how to do that with Google Draw. I think we did that in an earlier session a few weeks ago. Used Google Draw to create an image. It's really not hard to do. You just kind of drag one image on top of the other. Okay, so for the body of your post, you want to keep your body short and induce curiosity. Okay, so let's go here. We'll do this off the video. You know what? Let's just make a post, guys. I'm sorry. I know I'm jumping around. I do this to you all the time, but let's just make a darn post. I'm being lazy here. All right. So let's make the post that I did for the video for the same property. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go post classifieds. Housing offered. Real estate by broker, right? We don't want to lie if we're not for sale by owner. I will abide. Okay, so see, so this right here, I want to bring this up now. There are certain things that I'm saying to do that they don't love, but that people still get away with every day. I would not use this as a reason not to. If you get flagged a lot or you get ghosted, maybe lay off some of these things, but for the most part, they don't want this to be too obnoxious. Cartoon or graphic images, photographs of yourself, links to more information elsewhere, photos to click below, other stuff like that. They don't love it, but you can still get away with it. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people have shied away because they're afraid they're going to get in some kind of big trouble. But really, it's hard for Craigslist to police. And if you do it tastefully, you're not a bad citizen. Is our take on it. All right, so let's do. We'll just use. Users can contact me by phone or text if they want. Okay, posting title. All right, so I'm going to bring up the listing. Okay, we're going to use 144 Highland Road. My house. I can't get the darn thing sold. That's another problem. It's been good fodder for a good guinea pig here. Okay, getting it painted today. So it looks prettier. It looks nice inside. But let's go and address the biggest objection people might have as they look at the picture. And I like to say bigger than it looks from the outside. Woot! Okay, and then with video. All right, we'll try that. Specific location, you can do the town or whatever. The biggest highlight about this location, you can do the biggest kind of highlight if it's close for a commute or something like that. What's coolest about the location? In this case, it's just the school district. Postal code. Okay, now for the body, and this is where we were in our document here. I'd like to keep the body short so that it induces curiosity. We want to bore people and have them reading for 3 hours all about it. We want them to do that on our website, hopefully, so that, or do it via replying to the ad, so that we can get the lead and get the conversation, get the traffic. So we're not going to give everything here. We're going to give a nice little summary. So a nice little summary in this case might be 3-bedroom, 2-bath, newly finished hardwood floors. It looks like a tiny rancher but when you add in the huge finished basement, it's like 2,300 square feet of living space. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for more pictures, click here. All right, you can get fun with characters and arrows like this if you want to make them stick out. Get creative, and I'll post a link to this. And there's a YouTube video. To watch the video, go here, and I would just do youtube.com, whatever that is. I'm not going to look that up right now. Okay, and then you're going to want to put whatever if you're worried about whatever is required in your state. Presented by, happens to be listed by Walt Wenzel. Keystone, blah, blah, blah. Now, something else you can do, I'm going to talk in a minute about, so we've done the call to action here that gets them into our site and they can register for our IDX search when they're looking at our properties. Another thing you can do is a direct reply to this ad call to action. And if you use a vacation responder or you set up or you use a special Gmail account for just Craigslist or something like that, like a special email account, you have an automatic responder, you can do something like this. Reply to this ad for a current list of bank-owned foreclosures, price reductions, and other deals in the area. I'll instantly auto reply with the list within 3 minutes. Okay, something like that. You could do that to get people sending you emails and replying to the ad. It's not going to, everybody who sees this ad isn't going to do that. But again, we're trying to divert and convert and get as much traffic off of Craigslist. Remember, these are people likely looking to buy or sell pretty soon. They wouldn't be there anyway. So extra calls to action like this are useful. So I'll add that in. And then I'll go ahead and you can do license, put your licensure info. We're going to want to do this stuff, price, right? We can put our, you want to make sure you get this right because people will use Craigslist filters. And if you have an open house, you'll want to stick it on there. Some people might be searching Craigslist for open houses. There we go. We'll put the address in. I said I wasn't going to bore you guys by making you watch all this, but I think it's good to actually go through an actual ad live here. Well, I did something wrong there. Okay. You don't want others to contact you, but I'll say, okay, I love when people email me spam. And then hit continue. What did I forget? I still remember my license number. All right, continue. Okay. Now, here's the text part of the ad. So, bigger than it looks from the outside with video. Works for a school district. Okay, great. Let's now edit the images. We're going to want to add some images. So hit edit images, and let's add some. Well, I'm going to have to get some to begin with. We're going to have a lot of fun here. I really want to do this. I'm going to put Spider-Man or somebody on here and show you guys how that all goes. So save image as 1.png. Desktop. I'm so unused to Windows. I went somewhere with faster internet and where we're staying in a rural area so that my son could download a huge video game. Here we go. Oh, come on. I got to register. Sorry, guys. Okay, we'll get a second image here. 2.png. All right, and then we'll just get a third. 3.png. I'm not going to get all the images and put them in the ad because I want people to go over to this page and then go through that same process you just saw me go through where I had to register. That's the whole idea here. We want to convert this traffic into leads. Now let's take our first image of the outside. Let's head on over to Google Docs and have our fun. Okay. new, Google Draw. Okay, insert image by URL, like so. That went great. And then let's go get a picture of Spider-Man. All right, he should be easy to find. I don't know why Spider-Man, but he's just who popped in. A little search trick on Google Images. You can go search tools here and go color, and you can pick transparent, and you'll get a nice transparent image that doesn't have the white around it, so it kind of like sits nicely on top of the lawn. So let's do, I kind of like this one. Let's grab this one. Okay, I'll view it, get the link for it, and then I'm going to insert the image. There's that. Select. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? There he is. Spider-Man's in the driveway. Oh, this is so much fun. Sorry, guys. We're getting a little too excited. Now, you can, I could have tied this into the subject line, like Spider-Man loves this one, right? Spider-Man on the roof. All right, if I want to go even crazier, I mentioned before putting a little speech bubble. I can go, let's do insert shape, call outs. Here we go, little speech bubble thing. Awesome house. Spidey loves it. I don't get a little silly, right? After all, we're real estate agents. We don't work 9 to 5. We got time to goof around a little bit, tiny bit. Especially, this is the right kind of goofing around. I mean, if you can get somebody to see this on Craigslist and just crack them up, right? They have a little laugh and they start showing your ad to their friends. I mean, you're getting viral exposure for the property. Maybe they say, I want to work with this guy. He's got a sense of humor, and it kind of becomes your thing, right? Every time you post on Craigslist, they're like, there's that dude again, you know, posting his crazy things. Let me go to his website and see what this guy's all about. Okay, so here we go. Spidey loves it. And then I can download this as a PNG image. Okay, untitled drawing. I gotta remember the file name, so when I go to put it on Craigslist, I remember where to find it. Windows is so hard. Okay, let's add our images in here. Okay. I'm gonna do list. Can I do list and get the latest ones? Here we go. I'm sorry if this drives you guys nuts watching me do this. Figure out Windows. Maybe it's downloads. Okay, here's our untitled drawing. Okay, that's our Spider-Man image. And another image. I just, here they are, great. I think I can shift and do all three at the same time. Just make sure nobody has any questions. Nope. Got a view of the house. And then the final thing we had done is I created an image that was a call to action image. And I sent this in the video earlier today. Hopefully I can just find it and we don't have to remake the image. I made it much the same way as what you saw me do in Google Draw, you know, using the same tool. And then I will just go get it so that it doesn't need to be remade. This will save us a few seconds here. I kept it here. I remember now. Here it is. I made this image in Google Draw, and it says, for a list of foreclosures, we know this is my favorite offer. You can do whatever you want. It could be high-end luxury, you know, just price reductions. For a list of foreclosures and other York State properties, text, and here's a text-based call to action. text deals too, and that's just Walt's cell number. I mean, if somebody texts deals, you know it came from the Craigslist ad that he has out there, and somebody wants deals. That's cool. And then he can reply. If somebody texts and say, hey, what's your email? I'll email it to you. And then he gets an email that he can put in his database. Or they can visit his squeeze page, and there's a URL for his squeeze page there. So I'll save this onto my desktop as banner at Craigslist. There we go. All right. Let's go back to our posting. And that's going to be the last image I add. And, you know, something I kind of thought about today as I was doing this earlier is that I don't know if it really matters, but it might be cool to like throw this in the middle, because then they know there's more pictures of the house to come, but they get to this. I don't know if that even matters, but I'm thinking about somebody on mobile who's scrolling through, and then they're going to want to get the rest of the pictures, and they go back to this. It's kind of like stops the traffic in their place. Or maybe it's the last thing. What I was worried about is what if they don't get to the last picture for whatever reason. So I want to get this as close to the front as possible there. So let's get rid of, we don't need that image. Kind of stagger it. Done with images. What do you guys think? Oh my goodness. I love how Spider-Man came out. All right. I don't know. It could get you flagged. I don't think it will, though. I think most people have a sense of humor. One of your jealous competitors might flag you every now and then for doing this kind of thing. But I think it's just fun. Come on. How much fun is that? There's our ad. We have the image. We tried to get a little creative in our subject line. You know, tried our best there. We have an image that in the grid view is really going to stand out. Quick little description. Hey, to watch the video, go here. We'll have our YouTube link. For more pictures, click here. Right. So if they're really interested in the house, they can go and become a lead for you. And down here, I probably could have spent a little more time, guys. I think you can do basic HTML and bold stuff. Play around with italicizing, maybe highlight stuff still. And I could have made this stand out a little more. P.S. Reply to this ad for a current list of bank home foreclosures. I'll reply. And then what you would need there is to have a vacation responder set up that just says, hey, here's the list. You know, something like that. What's everybody think? We doing okay? Was that an okay detour to go have that little bit of goofy fun? Spider-Man. Okay, thank you, Glenn. Thanks for the nice feedback. Okay, good. All right, so let's get back to our doc here. I mean, that's essentially it. When I hit publish, I'm going to get some kind of, I don't want to make this live in its current form. It's not complete, but I'm going to get some kind of, you know, response that says, hey, go confirm the ad in my email. I'll just have to publish it. Let's go back to our doc. Okay, so we covered for more picks go to, I used a second lead magnet for weekly list price reductions. You can try text-only URLs and SMS calls to action. We did that in our little picture ad. You could also do that right in the body of the ad. And guys, keep in mind, I'm kind of winging it here, but you're going to come up with your own kind of template. You'll know what works for you. Just do the same thing every time you post. Vanity URLs might go a long way here. I have a little comment about that. In Walt's example, I did this like shortened URL, really cool.info/Southern PA foreclosures. But what would have really been better is if we bought southernpaforeclosures.info, so that if somebody's on mobile, they can't copy and paste off of that image, right? It's not copy and pasteable, but in their head, it's so easy to remember. They close that window and they just type in southernpaforeclosures.info, and that would go to the capture page where they collect an email. And or use of email vacation reply. So we put that in here. Reply to this post and I'll instantly auto reply with complete list up. So there's some language there in addition to what I just did in that example. Pictures. We only used a few pics because we want to induce some curiosity and do a call to action that says, hey, if you want more pics, go here. And we just paste our link in there. It doesn't have to be hyperlinked. At least they can copy and paste it if they want to. Include a traffic diverting image when possible. And that was our crazy big ugly yellow image. And go for Spider-Man if you want something. All right, when to post. So we get a lot of questions around this, and there's no real tried and true answer other than that if you're going to use Craigslist, don't do it hit or miss. You're either going to decide, hey, let's use Craigslist as a major traffic source and build a system around this that's part of our business, or not. Going in and posting one ad tomorrow morning isn't going to get you much. You might get a lead or two, but it's not really great. Where you're really going to do well is if it's a consistent thing. You're posting 1, 2, maybe 5 listings a day. You're not spamming Craigslist, but you have a plan. I'm going to post 3 listings a day. It's going to happen at this time of day every day. So you can vary. You're going to want to think about when your target audience might be on. Usually it's the morning coffee, breakfast time, lunch, and then evening and after dinner when people are browsing, right? So those might be good, but don't lock yourself into overthinking it. If the best time for you is 11 a.m., maybe that's not optimal, but you'll still benefit from getting your ad live, especially since Craigslist search operators will allow your people to find your ad later. And I think a lot of people are using Craigslist more like an IDX now. I know that's how I use it, where you go in and you kind of fill out all the fields and filters. So, the time matters a little bit less as long as you're doing it every few days. You're still going to pop up in the results. Okay. So that's that. And I just have a few bonus tips here, and then we'll open it up to more questions or see if anybody else needs anything not related to Craigslist. So bonus tip, outsourcing. One thing you can do to make sure this is systematized is use a local low dollar per hour admin. So that might mean somebody in your office who's already your assistant. You just add this and say, hey, you're going to post, let's make a template. You're going to post 1 or 2 ads a day. Every day, this is what you do. Or you hire, a high school kid, somebody and you say, if you do this, I'll give you, and you send me, you do it consistently, I'll give you $20 extra a week or whatever. If it's, your son or daughter. This is something that somebody with a basic education can do, right? It's a 14, 15-year-old. They'll probably be better they'll probably have a lot of fun with the crazy images too, I imagine. Plus, it's a good learning experience. Another thing that blew my mind a few years ago when I heard people were doing this, I thought it was really brilliant. Craigslist does not allow you to post, I can't go post ads in California if I live in Florida. They want to see it in a local area, you'll get ghosted. One thing people do to get around this is they hire assistants overseas who are low dollar per hour, and they hook them up with like logmein.com or go to mypc.com. Right? They have a dedicated old computer there that the overseas virtual assistant can log into and then post the ad. So it seems like it's coming local. And maybe you get somebody who's $2 to $5 an hour, who does this for you 5 hours a week, and it costs you very little, and you're getting, the corresponding traffic is worth it to you. That's one idea. Another bonus tip, in the ad I was just running, you might include a few keywords at the bottom of the post so that the power users who are searching by keyword can find it, your post. So you might do edit images. Oops. Uh-oh. My post did go live. Oh, well. We'll just leave it live. I thought I was going to have to confirm it. But let's edit this. Keywords might be like, okay, here we go. Fireplace. The house has a fireplace. York Suburban. Finished basement. So that if somebody goes in and they search by these little words or things that they want, the ad will get picked up in their search results. It's a really good tip and probably something that you always include in your posting template. It'll get you some extra traffic. Your post, your house might be one of the few in its sort of category or school district that actually has a working fireplace. It's just a rare kind of house, or it has a swimming pool. You put that in there, and then somebody searching 3 weeks from now will pick up the listing when they wouldn't have today because it was just buried, but if they're searching like a power user, it might come up, and it's worth doing. If you don't have listings, don't, use that as a reason not to use Craigslist. You can use HUD listings in a lot of cases. Just make sure you're all set up with your broker to have, you have a HUD key. There are plenty there, and none of your competitors are taking the time. Go ahead and post a HUD listing. Ask your broker. The broker is always the whoever the broker of record is always on that listing. So whether or not the other agents in your office like it, maybe the broker will like that you're doing it and will give you permission to advertise company listings. Ask other agents, right? Good listing agents who don't have time for this stuff understand that Craigslist will at least get them a little extra exposure, and they won't mind that you're, getting some buyer traffic in return. It's helping sell their listing. So most of them should be, if they're not already using Craigslist every day, most of your colleagues in your office should be willing to say, yeah, go ahead, use my listings. You would think, but I know it doesn't always work that way. And then you could ask FSBOs, and that's an interesting technique where you would go and you would search for FSBOs, right? And you'd see people who are posting every day. I'm going to go to the FSBO section and say, hey, I noticed your post. I post every day. Craigslist is a great source of buyer traffic for me. Hey, do you want me to, I can save you some time if you want. I'll just post your listing for you every day. I don't mind it as long as you don't mind me getting the buyer inquiries. And that might be a good in. You're providing value with a FSBO. Maybe it leads to a listing eventually, right? So you go to real estate for sale, and then you just search. Oh, they always move this around. Estate for sale by owner. Okay, reply. Hey, I saw your post. I don't know if you're planning to post every day, but I do it every day anyway. Would you like if I included yours? I'll just use what you had there. Hey, you're offering something of value. They're not going to tell you. You're not saying, hey, will you list your home with me? Most people will be kind of polite and just say no, thank you. But just doing that could lead to a few more listings a year. Who knows? And then let's see. Just don't forget that the name of the game here is to divert and convert. You're taking traffic that is good buyer traffic, and you want to try to send them somewhere where there's a good chance that they'll end up in your database so you can market to them later. Excuse me. So that might include a squeeze page, right, where they can email opt-in, or make sure the page you're going to has a way for them to register if it's an IDX site that your registration is on. And then if you're doing a text call to action like text me for XYZ, try to, before you send the info, whatever it is you're enticing them with, see if you can't get them to give you an email address so you can add them to your database and then do some email marketing too. Okay, and I think that's about it. That's what I had in the doc here. Let's see if anybody has any more questions for today. Where did those go?